How's it going, guys and girls? My name's Camel, and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online woodworking tutorial video. Okay, let's start off with the first tab. First tab is Refine. Here you will refine raw materials into refined materials. Now down here you see it says minimum of 10 needed. Now before you can start this and craft along with me, you need to make sure you have at least 10 of the same type of wood, because you need to refine this into a refined wood, a sanded wood. So if you don't have 10 of one particular type of wood, go back out into the world and get some more wood. If you're not too sure on how to do this or you want some tips, I have my previous video is all about how to farm wood and some tips on how to make it a lot easier for yourself and how to find some more. So if you're not up to that point yet, make sure to go and check that video out. But if you do have enough wood, follow along here. So you need at least 10 of any one type of raw material to refine that into a refined material. Now, refined materials are the materials that you use to actually craft items. Okay, so the second tab, the creation tab. Okay, so first up we have the type slot or the type slider. This is where you can change between the bows or the staves. Secondly, we have the materials tab. This is the base material, the refined material. So the sanded maple, the sanded oak, the sanded beech, which you should now have if you've just refined some raw materials into these refined materials. Thirdly, we have the style slot. Now when you start off, you can only craft in your race's style, so you'll need the corresponding racial styling additive. In this case, I'm going to be crafting in the Breton style, and as you can see there, the Breton's styling additive or styling ore is molybdenum. Now if you wish to learn how to learn these other crafting styles, so you can apply different races styles to crafted items, check out this video here. It's a video on how to farm the racial crafting motifs. And lastly, the fourth slot, we have the trait slot, which I'll get onto in a minute. But with this particular bow, I'm not going to be adding any traits to it, so it's just going to be a plain bow. Now, on this character, I just hit level 12, and as you can see there, the bow that I'm going to create requires level 1. I don't want a level 1 bow, I want a level 12 bow. Now onto the material that I'm going to use there, you can see there is a plus and minus sign and a number in between. The number in between represents how many of that material is going to be consumed to make this bow. Every time you add a material, it increases the level requirement of the weapon and the damage and the value. Now it goes from level 1 to 4, and then from then on it goes up in 2 level increments, so from 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and so on. Now I think the cap for the starting material is level 14, so once you hit level 16, what you want to do is move on to the next material, and then you can start crafting items from level 16 to, 24 or whatever it is. Okay, so like I said, I've got the bow, I've got enough maple added to make it a level 12 bow, I've got the Breton style applied and no trait applied. Okay, so craft that bow. And then in our inventory, we have a new maple bow that requires level 12, it's white, it's a common item. Now every item you craft will be a common item to begin with. It will be this white item. I'll tell you how to make that better in a second, but for now let's rip out the new bow. Watch out, Legolas on the loose. Alright, so there we go. Congratulations guys. We have successfully created ourselves a bow that is appropriate for our level. So let's head back to the woodworking station there. Okay, now say we go up to level 14. We got to start from scratch. Kind of. What we can do, we'll unequip that bow so it's back into our inventory, and hit up the third tab here, deconstruct. Here we can deconstruct items and gain back some of the materials that would have gone into creating that item. Here's the item we just created. We've gone up 2 levels, so now we're level 14. So instead of just starting from scratch, what we can do, double click on an item. Down here, it says click R to deconstruct. Click R, it deconstructs that item, but we get back some of the materials that went into making it. So as you can see, I have some other items in the inventory there that I don't really want to use, but I could use some of the materials from those items, so I'm going to deconstruct this whole list of items that you can see here. This deconstruction system that the Elder Scrolls Online team have come up with, I think is a fantastic recycling model. Okay, so because we've just gone to level 14 and we have now deconstructed all of those items and got back some of the materials from those items, we can put those materials that we just gained back towards creating a new bow that requires level 14. So once again, what we want to do is go to the creation tab and add enough base materials, enough maple there to get the item level up to level 14. Then we want to make sure we have the correct style added. Sometimes people can't craft items because in the styling slot they have a style selected that they haven't learnt and they can't craft in that style. Therefore, they can't craft the item they've selected, they get a bit confused. So always make sure the style slot is set to a style that you can craft in, and also the style that you wish to craft in. I will have a video up very soon that explains the whole style system. So if you wish to learn more about these styles, make sure to check that out. It should be up in the next day or two. Okay, and like I said, I haven't researched any traits, so I can't apply any traits to this bow at this current time. So in the trait slot, I'm just going to have an X, no trait applied. So there we go, we have now created a maple bow that requires level 14. So now that we have created ourselves a level 14 bow, all the stats go up a little bit. As you can see, it's still a white item. How do we make this a better item? Okay, so what we want to do is improve this bow. So what we can do is come across to the 4th tab up the top there to improvement. Okay, so once here in the list there, you'll have a list of items that you can improve. So we want to improve this bow, so what we want to do is click on the bow. Then it will come up in the middle of the screen there, a picture of the bow with the stats will come up. Now this isn't the bow in your inventory, this is the bow that you will get if the improvement attempt is successful. So we're going from white to green, the most basic improvement step. Okay, so the resin that takes items from white to green is called pitch. If you take a look at the improvement timeline down the bottom, you can see that in between white and green, normal and fine, there is a picture of a potion bottle with some black stuff in it. This is pitch. As you can see, it says 10 there as well. This means that between my bank and my inventory and my bags, I have 10 pitch. Now, if we move across back to the middle, it'll have the bow that I'll get back if the improvement attempt is successful. And if we look under there, it says improve maple bow. So that's the item that I'm trying to improve. And on the other side, it says chance. Now, when you first start off and you haven't put any points into the woodworking skill tree, every pitch you add will increase the chance by 20%. So just adding one pitch, you only have a 20% chance of successfully improving this item. And you do not want to be attempting that because if it fails, it destroys the pitch and it destroys the item. So it's a lose-lose situation. I always try and have a 100% chance before I try and improve an item. So if we have a look here, I'll add 4 more pitch, so I end up with 5 total. As you can see, there's a plus and minus and a number in between. The number in between is how many pitch you're going to use in this improvement attempt, and of course the plus and minus, pluses and minuses, pitches. Now I always plus up until I have chance 100% because I want to make sure that this item is going to be improved and not have any error margins where it could be destroyed. So there we go, up to 100% and click R to improve. There we go, we get the blue light around the border there. That means it is successful. If it's a red light, it means you've failed and you've lost the item and the resin that you attempted to improve in that improvement process. Alright, so I'm going to quickly touch on the research and trait system. What you need to do is go out into the world and you will find certain items with traits applied. To know there's a trait on an item, under all of the stats of the item, it'll have a word like defending, sturdy, sharpen, something like this, and then it will have an extra effect built into the item, separate to the enchantment on the item. What you then need to do is come back to the appropriate crafting station. So if it's a bow, you need to come back to the woodworking station. And what you need to do is come up to this last tab here, the research tab, and up in the trait line, it'll have a list of the different items you can make with woodworking. If there's a number next to the particular item, for example the frost staff here, there's a 1, that means there is an item in my inventory that's a frost staff that has a trait applied to it that I can research. So what you do, when you research the trait on an item, when the researching's finished, you can then apply that trait that you've just researched to the type of item that you've just researched it from. Now you can only apply these traits after you finish researching them and when you craft a new item. So obviously you saw near the beginning there, the 4th slot down the bottom under the styling slot is the trait slot, where you can flick through the different trait gems, and each trait gem, rather like the styling additives, each trait gem corresponds with a different trait. So if you add a certain gem into the trait slot, it'll then apply the corresponding trait that that trait gem brings, provided that you've researched that trait on that particular item. So here I'm going to research the defending trait on the frost staff. Once the researching is done, when I go to craft a frost staff, I can now apply the defending trait to it, provided I have the corresponding trait gem. Now you can find trait gems out about in the world. You can get them from refining raw materials into refined materials and also from deconstructing items. You have a chance of getting them back from those. Alright guys, that's it for the woodworking video. I hope this video has helped you out. Alright guys, now before you end off here, I'm just going to say you should definitely check out the woodworking skills tree video I did. There's a lot of tips and tricks in there and ways you can put points into your woodworking skill tree to really make yourself a much more efficient, productive, and wealthier woodworker. Even if you think you got it down pat, I think you should definitely check it out because there are some really good tips and ideas in there to make you much more efficient at woodworking. Alright guys, that's it for this woodworking video. I hope it's helped you out. Please leave a like if it has. Leave a comment if you have any questions, if you have any video requests, or if you have any information to add that could help myself or any other players. Share this video amongst your friends and guildmates. And as always, if this video did help you out and you would like more videos like this one, please subscribe. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.